Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for another Journaling on a Budget Extra. We are making our lap book. Today we are going to put in some tags and some pullouts, and I did not get out any stamps because I don't think we'll have time to get to that. So I will either do a final video with the stamps or I will do the stamping, and you will have seen that in the original startup video. So here we go. Let's I have got things kind of all ready to do the tags. I've got the tags pretty much ready so that we can make this a nice quick video. But let's we'll just start on this side. Let me see, how do I want to do this? Let's do it like this. Okay, so starting here, move you back just a little bit. We have our envelope. It's all decorated. It has room to put things in. I don't think that needs any more. I think that that is done. We have a tuck spot here. And then we have our decorated envelope here. And for this one, I just went ahead and I cut a piece of paper that was the size of my envelope, rounded the corners, put some distressing on it, and put tea-dyed paper on the back so it can be a nice journaling spot, and a little bit of stamping. And so that is going to go right in here. That makes this envelope a little more sturdy, gives you a place to write, and also gives you a spot where you can tuck in behind it, and it comes all the way out to the top. I made a little writing book, and this is just tea-dyed paper and a piece of music paper, just folded in half, rounded the corners. And then this one, I tried to staple it right in the center, but I got off, so it's actually stapled a little bit right on the front, but they are colored staples, so it looks pretty. And that's the way that, and it still opens up just fine. So that's the way that that one's going to be. And this is made to tuck right in here. And our music paper goes with our music stamps here, and a little bit of music on the front here. So, and then this pocket we're going to leave empty. You can slide anything in there that you would like to. You know, I want to leave some pockets so that they can be filled. You know, not everyone has to have a tag, so we're not going to fill absolutely everyone. We have this little pocket on the top that you can put something in. For our large envelope here, I went ahead and made a large card, and on this one I was going to put tea-dyed paper on it, and I was going to put it on this side, and I wasn't positive if, you know, whoever gets this journal, if they're going to want to have this side covered up or this side covered up, or if they just want to use it as a spot to tuck things behind. So I'm going to leave this one just like it is. And if this winds up being your lap book, if you'd like to put, you know, some writing paper on one side or the other, you know, you can do that. So we have our envelope here, and for her, I did not make any cards. I left her empty, so you can just put stuff in there. This is a nice and solid one. We went ahead and put cardstock on the front and the back, so we really don't need anything to sturdy it up. You can just slide in there whatever you want to. And then I made for our belly band here, I just made a writing book. And this book I did not put together at all, because I thought that you may want to, after you've used these pages, take them out and put more pages in. And so if this winds up being your book and you want this sewn, I can sew it. But I thought, well, it matches the background paper and everything, and once these are used up, if you take it up and want to put something else in there, so I thought it'd be easier just to take those out. And because everything is so tight here, you know, it's going to hold it together very nicely. And so I left that one unsewn. Oops, this one goes here and this one goes here. And then we have our back pocket here. And again, there's no, maybe I will tuck some extra little tags in there before I send it out. But then we have here, we have our front page. And this is for you to put pictures in. So I really wasn't sure exactly what to do with that. So I thought maybe we'd just like put a piece of colored paper in there just so that it's not, you know, empty. But then, you know, really I thought that that would be for something, whether it's a piece of your own artwork or something like that. This is really cute. It's a little card that I have. Why don't we trim this down to make it fit, and let's put that in there, because that just kind of gives you the idea that this is 4 pictures. Let's do that. Where do I want to cut it at? Let's see. I'm going to see how wide this pocket is. Does it go all the way out to the edges? From there to there. So I'm just going to trim a little bit of this off with my paper trimmer. And maybe we'll slide a piece of paper in behind it also. Trim that right about there. And trim a little bit off each side. Did I trim it enough? A little bit more. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to use this to cut. I've decided that this is the paper I want to put on the back side. So I'm going to use this to show. Just thought it would brighten things up in that section just a little bit. Let's see here. I have to figure out how to cut it. Okay, line that up. I need to cut it right about there. Maybe a little bit further. And then this one I'm going to leave a little bit taller. I'm going to cut it right about here. How's that? That looks pretty good. I'm going to put them back to back. Center this one a little bit. And then just slide them in there. And all of the pockets will be quite stiff until you start using them. Whenever you make any kind of a journal, that's how it's going to be, because you've made them nice and tight. But as you use them, they will start to loosen up. That looks pretty good. Slide our kitty cat down just a little bit. Make sure he's in there straight. There we go. And I'm going to put a little bit of blue edging on that since it's white. But I wanted that to stick up so that you could pull it out easily. And also that could be used to journal on the back of. So there we go. So this is a picture, our picture spot. And then we have over here, we have a spot where you could either put a picture or you could journal on. And then we have our Braille paper here, and I did put a pull out in here so that if you put something in there, just put it in here, slide it in there, and then when you want to get it out, it's easy, so you don't have to try and dig down in there. Now, if you ever get anything lost in a pocket, use a pair of tweezers. That works really nice to get it out. And then here, we have a tuck-in spot here. And I wasn't really sure, and I thought I'm going to leave that too, so you can just tuck some of your important things in there that you want to have in this book. So let's see here. That's the end of that one. Okay, so that's that whole side. And then we have our book here, which is done. And then on this side, we have our envelope and our pocket. And then we have this envelope all decorated nicely. Put a little bit of glue right here. There we go. Okay, and then I was going to make a pocket for this one out of this blue paper, and I went to put it on here just as a backing. And when I did that, I really liked the way that that looked. I liked that top part. So, it's one of those things where it's like, what do I do? I like it, I'm going to leave that there, and then something can be stamped on there. And so I'm just going to, let's see, I had a glue book here somewhere. I don't know where I put it. Here it is. So I'm just going to put glue all over the back of this, and I'm going to put it on here. And then that can be used as a writing spot. I'm just putting glue on my blue paper here. Make sure I get it everywhere. Make sure I get it on the edges. I'm just lining it up on here. And I don't know why I like that, but I just do. And it's simple enough. If this winds up being your lap book and you don't like it there, you can just cut it off. There. I like it. And I'm going to round these corners, at least the bottom ones, just a little bit. And take that off of there. And then I think that this really needs, because it's got a little spot on it, it needs some tea-dyed paper on the back. Let's grab a piece of tea-dyed paper. And this time I'm going to glue all over the back of this one and then put it on the tea-dyed paper. And then we'll just trim around it. And this is a permanent stick glue that I get at my craft outlet. So I don't know if they have them anywhere else, but it is called Photo Glue Stick. It's acid-free, permanent, and bonds photos. So you want to know what type it is, but I'm not really sure where you can get it. But if they have it at the craft outlet, it must come from somewhere. Alright, now I'm going to put this flat on my table so I can get a nice good bond. Decide where I want it. I think I like this corner right down here. Just getting it all lined up nicely. And press that down. Just going to get it all smoothed out really nicely. And I'm going to leave the top part on. I'm not going to trim the top part until my glue is dry, so that I'm not pulling it away from the manila folder as I'm trying to cut around the corners. Straight lines aren't too bad, but when you're trying to cut around a corner, if you don't let your glue dry, as you're trying to go around these corners, you'll lift it away from your backing. So we're going to leave that for just a second. I'll get this corner off here though before I forget. And then I will edge that in blue, and this is going to go right in there. And see, that little manila part's going to just stick out there after I get that cut. And then I thought for this corner, I really love these fold outs with the journaling lines in them. And so I thought that I would use just the contrasting paper to this that came out of the same paper pad. And I thought that would look really nice as a tuck spot and then a journaling spot. So we're just going to do the outside edge, and we could do it this way, but I like it this way. That's the way I made it to go. So that's the way we're going to make it go. I'm going to make sure, yep, my lines are in the right position. Outside edge and bottom is where I'm going to glue. Oh, see, I even used a pencil to do that. when I was making the pocket because I wanted to remember. A lot of times I'll glue these down solid. I forget to leave the pocket. So I did that so I would remember exactly which side I wanted to put the glue on, and I would remember not to put glue all over the whole thing. Okay, so our glue's there and there. And I'm going to leave it out just a little bit from the edges and from the bottom, just so that it doesn't get caught. And this is just a square piece of paper folded on a diagonal. That's as easy as it is to make these, and they're just very effective. I like them. They have a writing spot, they have a tuck spot, and they give your page some interest. So there we go. That's how that one's going to go. I'm going to leave it open while it's drying. I'm going to put this one up here. We'll close that up. Okay, so on the next page, I just made some little journaling cards. This one I thought was light enough that you could journal on it all on its own. And so that one is for the top. Just like that. And then I made a medium size one for here. Now, obviously, I just love this butterfly fairy, and so I didn't cover her up or the other side. That is something that you could do if you wanted to. And again, our pockets are tight, but they will loosen up. The more things you put in there, the more they will loosen up. And if you have a pocket that's just too tight and you can't get your cards in there, you could take something like, let's see. Okay, this is just a little screwdriver. It's not too big, but you can put them in your pockets and just kind of slide them back and forth like this easily, just to give it a little bit of a stretch. Just like anything that's new, it has to be stretched out. And then I made this card here with the fairy to put on this side. And this one, this has a tag in it that we put in there. It's nice for looks, but this is also some place where you could put some pictures, and so that's a good place for that. Over here we have journaling cards here that we made a while back. We have this one here, which I was saying that, you know, I needed to make something to put in this pocket, but every time that I open this up, I really, really like this, and so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to round the corners, but I want to have that in there because I like seeing it there. Just, to me, it goes there. Maybe it's because I've seen it for so long as I'm working through this, but and I don't want any more stenciling on it. I'm going to edge the edge just a little bit, and going to leave it just like that. And I don't even want a whole ton of color on the edges, just a little bit, just to finish it off. There we go. Put a little bit on the back too. There we go. And so that is our journaling card for this spot. Now we have our pocket here. When I made this, I just stuck some parchment under the butterfly because I didn't want his wings to get glued down. We're just gonna pick this up and shut him up. That is a spot where you can put all your secret little things, and we have a tuck spot over here. On this side, we have our braille pocket that lifts up. And so inside here, we have a journaling card that matches. And then I have made just a lined journaling card with some butterfly napkin water glued on there. So we're going to put that one in there. And then I have a piece of the butterfly napkin. I thought that this was just a little plain. And so I'm going to put this butterfly napkin right on here. Because my book is all together and I have papers underneath here to write on, I don't want to put water glue on here. And I've been watching everybody glue down napkins with glue stick, which is really cool and works out really nice. It's a lot flatter. I still like the texture with the water glue too. But what I did was I set this on here where I wanted it. and I took a pencil and I just kind of drew right under the very edge. So I have a very light pencil line here, and I'm that so that I know where to put my glue to, because I don't want a whole bunch of extra glue all over my paper. And once it dries, that's fine, but I just didn't want to have it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and follow my lines here. I'm going just a little bit outside the line because I went a little bit under the napkin so that the line would not show up when I put the napkin on here. And I did my line very lightly, because if you have a light colored napkin and you have a dark line, that will show through. There we go. And don't forget, whenever you're going to use a napkin on anything, to remove the back layer. You can only use the top layer of the napkin, or the back layer will glue down to whatever you're trying to glue it to, and the front layer, which is your picture, will come right off. And maybe not right away, but it will eventually, because it's not stuck down to anything. So there we go there. And I just think that just gives it that little extra something. I really like the way that that looks. So there we have that side. We have our little dangly butterflies here too. And then on this side, I chose some journaling cards that I had. You know, this one says road trip and has a compass on it, but there's writing spaces on all of these. This one has, these are all like Project Life cards. So they have months and days on them that you can fill things out. And this is what I have in my book too. And I think it's just a good spot if you really want to keep track of something. It's nice to have a card that's all filled out for you, as far as like having the months on there or the days on there. And then we have some more here that have places to put the dates, places to write on. And I really like these, so I went ahead and put a set of them in here also. So I think that that is all of our tags. And we'll just trim this one down now, because we can close this one up now. They've had enough time to set. Let's get that trimmed off. And there we go. And I'm going to use a little bit of Blue Distress on this one, since it already has Blue Distress on it. And I don't know why I liked that, but I just did. And so, you know, it is something that if somebody doesn't like it, they can just chop it off right there. No big deal. Because that's what I was going to do originally, until I held it up there and decided I liked it with that on there. Swipe that off. And there we go. And now I'll do some stamping on there. Stamp some kind of a little saying or something. So that's done, and that's done. And so I think that we pretty much have all the tags that we need to have in here. I may put some more in there just for options. But thank you very much for stopping by today and watching. I will come back tomorrow and we'll do some stamping. And that will be our final video, and we will be all done. So thanks again for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. And I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.